face. Okay.
Why the hell
You
not?
don't know, but you've been live for 4 minutes.
Oh boy.
All
We're
right.
live? No.
No.
It just flashes right away. So we're live. Welcome guys to Southern Wisconsin Musky Expo. I need to turn these notifications off. Stop that. Okay. So we're at the GT Ron Rio booth. Maureen, Greg, hello. Good morning. How
Good
we doing?
morning.
Good morning.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. So first off, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm Greg, GT Rod and Rio. Been at this for about 6 years now as far as doing the booths. We've had the website up a little bit longer than that. Started off selling lures out of West Virginia, the bait builders out of that area because they weren't over here in this area. And that's kind of how I got started selling lures. And then one thing progressed to another, and
Here we are with
especially the terminal tackle. We're
Yeah.
getting into leaders and parts and pieces more and more all the time.
cool. And Maureen?
I'm Maureen. I grew up fishing. I started going to northern Wisconsin and Hayward since I was about 7 years old. Always loved muskies. I fished with my dad a lot as a kid. Really got into muskie fishing, I'd say, within about the last 3 years.
Okay.
Started studying it, watching all the shows. Really made it kind of my passion. So I
And now
started.
you're just
I'm trying to go headstrong into
Yeah.
it as much as I can with learning. I'm still very much a novice, and there's a lot to learn, but it's truly my passion. I love writing about the outdoors. I spend all my time in the summers up at Hayward.
Did you see any of the seminars?
Oh my God, I saw Scott Keeper. He
Okay.
did a phenomenal job.
He makes me feel like I don't know crap.
Oh my God, the
Like,
science
okay,
of it was
I don't-
amazing. Just blew my mind. So can't wait to see some more seminars.
Yes.
But yeah, it was amazing.
So that leads me to my next question because it's a very unique, how should I put it, like group of lures that you sell on your website.
Right.
So was that what is that how you got these guys on your website and you distributing these lures?
Yeah, basically what I did is about 5 years ago, I went out to West Virginia at the invitation of one of the lure builders and met up with them at their Musky's Inc. banquet. And they, all the individual builders out there set up a table with all of their lures and that on them. So I went out there and I met with a couple of them, and then the next year or the following year I went to the same banquet and started to build some working relationships with them. We started off with the Smutley Dog by Mark Smith, and he was a protege of Jack Cobb. And through Mark Smith, I met Jack Cobb, and me and Jack started doing quite a bit of business together over the next couple of years until he passed away. He was probably sending me 100 lures a month. So that's kind of how it got built up, and then continue to get another couple of other lure builders from the area out there too. So it was kind of a unique thing where I was able to, I'm out of the Chicagoland area, so mostly my influences as far as musky fishing go have to do with Wisconsin and Minnesota. So it was kind of a unique thing to be able to bring these products over to this area because most of these products hadn't been seen in these areas, with the exception of maybe like the Hughes River that everybody knows
Every
about.
once in a while, I know there's a shop in Madison that has a couple Hughes Rivers down in the showcase.
Right.
But
Exactly.
like I said, it's a very unique grouping of lures.
Exactly. I sound like you.
Huh?
So, with that being said, are you expanding? Like I know you have the $100 leader.
Actually, what we're doing is we are going to expand more into the terminal tackle, and
Okay.
we're going to start reducing down the lure part of it to a
Okay.
couple of dealers that we're currently working with. It's really hard to keep up with the colors and stuff, so if you're not working with somebody who's willing to give you a steady stream of product, it's hard to manage it on the website.
Yeah.
So what we want to be able to get to a point where if we have it at the show, we're going to also be able to have it on the website. We don't want to have a color unless we're going to blow it out that we have at the show that we don't have at the on our website, which is kind of the opposite of the way a lot of the guys do things here. They have their show colors and stuff.
Yep.
Doesn't do me any good. It makes inventory control a nightmare.
Okay. So look out for more leaders.
More leaders,
Terminal tackle.
more terminal tackle. You know, one of the things we're going to develop is, you know, everybody's putting a rubber tail on the back of their lures these days.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest gripe about that is most of those rubber tails are nowhere near a hook. Okay, we've got rubber tails that we sell that you put on the back of your lure that has a hook in them. So to me, it's kind of funny. You know, you'll get somebody who'll spend $50 on a lure just because it's got a rubber tail on it, when you can just, you know, for a few bucks, add it to your favorite lure. And we're also going to do it with, help me out here, bucktail, and probably tinsel at some point too. So
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll have 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 7.0 treble hooks in various fashions so that you can put it on the back of your lure
Okay.
and get just that much more flash out of the lure that you currently own.
Okay. And that's next show season.
Actually,
few months?
speaking of shows, Wausau, we're going to have a lot of that already there. So we intend to break that out at Wausau.
So like 3 more weeks. That's
5 weeks is
5 weeks
Wausau, yeah.
Early March,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we're really kind of excited about that because I really think if people we're gonna set everything up in here so that you got the 4.0 hooks and all of the ways we've got it strung out.
Okay.
5.0 hooks, all the
the
way.
ways you can do that.
So I mean,
Okay.
I think it's something when people see it in that kind of order, they're gonna, you know, the light bulb's gonna go off. You
Just
know,
with
this
that.
is what I can do
That-
with
that-
my lure.
That you already have, exactly.
Right, that you already have.
Okay. So the $100 leader.
The $100 leader.
I like this concept, and I
It's
like
really-
the idea.
It's a very difficult clip to open, but the whole idea is if you're throwing an expensive lure, this clip, when you put it on there, is never going to leave that lure until you take it off because it is almost indestructible. Now it is terminal tackle, so to say that it is, you know, that it can't be destroyed
Yeah,
is
it's
not. But I'll tell you what, it's hard, I have a hard time imagining this lure, no matter what, ever, you know, coming off of
What's
the.
that double clip?
It's a double clip. It's double lock. It's
Got the
strong.
spring hinge on there.
Double spring hinge.
Okay.
So I don't know how well you can see that.
Oh yeah, we can see that. Oh, that shows up pretty good. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's the $100, and the reason we call it the $100. Obviously, it doesn't cost $100 here at the show, but
Because you got me on my earlier show when you said that. I'm like,
Right,
I'm
right.
like, what the hell is this? That is way too much. But
the reason we call it the $100 is because we, you know, if you have an expensive lure, which
I mean,
these,
some of those trolling baits.
yeah,
I
oh
love-
yeah,
yeah, they're
these,
very
and we do
expensive.
make this with a trolling wire also. Right now we have it in the shark wire, which is the stainless steel with the vinyl coating, and by the time we get to Wausau here in a few weeks, we'll also have it in the fluorocarbon.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why we impress upon this so much is that the expense of the leaders, the lures, I'm sorry, because in my opinion, this is something where every expensive lure ought to have one of these on it, and all you do is tie off the leader.
So kind of keep the leader with.
Kind of keep the leader with the lure, right?
Okay.
Exactly.
Because I know in Chicago, I tried to clip one of those. I'm not doing that 5-6 times a
No.
day.
Exactly.
You're not
I
going
like
to
to
want to
switch
open that
lures
up.
out.
I did
Exactly.
it again.
Did you? Were you copying? Stop making fun of my Chicago
man.
accent. I'm sorry. I'm going to say baits from now on.
Baits?
Yeah, because they make fun. Allure. Is that better?
You haven't said perfect yet.
Why? How do I? Perfect's wrong? Perfect? How's
No,
that?
no, you just say it all the time. That's all.
You can say bait then.
All right,
That
I was just kidding. They all make fun of my Chicago accent, so let's get it out there.
But no, like I tried to actually open and close it, and like I said, I get yelled at because I switched baits too many times.
That's where the easy clip would be great.
There you go.
Yeah, but that thing, I'm not.
Right,
So
right.
Wow.
leave it on there
Tie it off.
and tie.
Yep.
So, and then again, that gets us into the easy clip leaders, which most of us, the people that have been to the show, know us for. And I might as well grab a lure here. We've been selling these now at the shows for 6 years, and we've been fishing with them for 10. We actually started fishing with these before we, started the business, making them ourselves. And basically all it is fast edge clip on the end of the leader, rolls on, easy off. It allows people, it's very encouraging to people from the standpoint is everybody knows how difficult it is to open up the other clasp, and you get in a situation where it almost discourages you from wanting to change lures. Whereas, you might be on a spot where you see some activity and you might think that you've got to change your lures quite a bit just to find out what's going to attract that fish. And this leader, and people who have disability as far as arthritis, can't see, can't open that other, it's just the perfect, and we sell these at the show. This is our biggest selling product, is the Easy Clip Leader, and it has been for the past 5 years. And then also too, at the show, we have a deal here where buy 3 leaders, you get the 4th one free.
Okay.
And you can mix and match any way you want.
And what time do we close today? 3?
3 o'clock, yeah.
3 o'clock.
So guys, we open at 10. You got, 48 minutes to get down here. Get some of these guys. Get your free leader.
Yeah.
Buy 3. There you go.
Yeah, and actually today too, the first 200 people that come in the door get a free leader.
So they already get one for free.
There's your incentive.
There you go.
To be early.
Stop by the booth and we'll show you how to use them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So that's what more so GT rod and reels are going to be about. That high quality
terminal tackles
like
were
customized.
removed. Yeah, definitely.
It's not just a leader.
Well, we've got another leader down here that's made by it's made by us, but it was originally designed by Fred Pearson.
Okay.
And what it is it's got no hardware on it. Everything is self-contained in a piece of wire.
What do you mean no hardware?
There's no hardware. There's no swivel on it. There's no snap on it. The snap is built into the piece of wire itself. And the whole idea is
there's really no fail, unless the wire itself is the fail.
Right, and not only that, but on the glide baits, the weight tends to.
I don't know if you guys can see
Yeah,
that.
you got it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just a piece of wire, straight wire. What size gauge or size of this?
240 pounds.
Okay. And there you go, a straight wire. Wow. Okay.
That's what the
Here's the
packaging
product.
looks like. I don't know. Can you see that, Colin?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's okay.
Make me laugh.
So there's 3 very unique leaders for very
Yeah, and the
unique
one
situations.
thing about that Fred Pearson leader too is it's great for glide baits. And,
Oh yes.
And what happens is a lot of times when you have all that weight on the nose, it takes it down nose first on a glide, and this
With that
really
swivel.
allows the glide to kick out and slow down without it pulling the lure down.
Or even on walk the dog top one.
Exactly.
And that's even more
Exactly.
important with the
Didn't I say that the other
Oh
day?
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But that you really don't want weight holding that head down
Exactly.
of that walk the dog.
And kill the action.
Exactly.
Yep.
Perfect. So do you have any other black ops leaders in production?
That's it for right now. We are thinking about because of our exposure, especially in the Chicagoland area. We've got the people that are looking to us to make leaders for the salmon industry. So it's something we may be pursuing over the next few months. Not that it has anything to do with muskies, but
What do you mean for the second?
well, when they troll, they rig out all these
Okay.
lines,
Yeah.
and with our clips and stuff like that, they want to be able to change things on the fly, instead of having to. Again, I just showed you how the Easy Clip leader works. They want to put that on there, throw their spoon on it, get it
Right.
back into water, and start fishing again instead of having to retie everything off.
Especially in the rough water.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You got 30 lines dealing, or how many? I don't know.
Lake
I
Michigan.
don't trouble with
yeah.
salmon. I did it once, but I was so seasick. I don't know.
Yeah.
One other thing on the $100 leader, we will have that. Right now, it's just available in 150 pound. Come sometime over this coming year, we will have it available in 100 pound also. The clips are real expensive to make, so we kind of got to regain some of our capital before we can, get back into another, because it's another big batch of money to buy the 100-pounders. And away we go.
So, Maureen,
Yes.
how's the expo so far?
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
This is honestly to me like Christmas morning. So I love being surrounded by all the wonderful lures. How's that?
That's
Is that
great.
Good?
Yeah.
Did I do good?
Yeah.
And the people in the industry have just been so welcoming to me. I have learned so much. I write a lot. So my father passed away this year, and that was my fishing partner. And I can't tell you the support I've gotten from the fishing industry.
Yeah.
Just feeling lonely after my dad passed away.
I
That
went
was my
back and read
fishing.
all the blogs and saw all the nice comments and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, everyone just makes you feel so welcome, and I was really sad about, my dad passing, and everyone's like, this is your fishing family now, and it really feels welcoming, and just the amount of knowledge, going to Scott Keeper's seminar, like I said, and the people who are just willing to take a bait and be like, use it for this is great on this, you fish this lake, and no one really makes you feel unwelcome. People are really anxious
Not
to help you to
really,
learn, and they
no.
want to see you succeed, and if I could give one thing back to the community, I'd like to be able to do that one day. Help kids, help them get involved. And
Which is important. 'cause
Exactly.
The
There's-
kids are dying in this industry, it seems like.
Yeah, there's not.
We need to find more ways to get kids involved.
Exactly. So that's one of my big goals. I'd like to work with kids, get them involved in the
Is
outdoors.
that like long term? Is that where you
No,
might want to
probably
steer?
yes,
into?
long term.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd like to really focus on my writing. I have 3 little boys at home. Getting more kids involved in the outdoors, and women particularly too. Hopefully, little girls to love fishing like I did would be a big goal.
Was that Wausau where they're going to have
The
women's panel?
yes, and I'm excited to work
Can
on
we
that.
explain a little bit about that? I mean, I know we're at the Southern Wisconsin,
Yes.
but Wausau is not too far off, and that's a really cool thing that Mike's putting on for the Wausau.
Correct, and I'm going to be working with Janie. So I think basically what we're going to be doing is kind of an informal seminar, and just basically Q&A and just kind of bouncing stuff off. Pretty
She's
much.
going to show women how to use leaders.
I am. I'm going to just rock that because I've been having lots of practice this
Who
weekend.
else is going to be on that panel?
You know what? It's still kind of in discussion at this point. I know Janie and I are
You and
doing
Janie
it
for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Of Janie's Flies, correct?
Correct.
Perfect.
So, and she's wonderful. So I'm really excited to work with her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, kind of talk about like who you guys kind of are. So, how was your last season fishing? Mine, I got one. And I got an illegal spot, and I got a baby. So my season sucked. Your season, I know you recently caught
I did. It was awesome.
a big one.
I did. That was awesome. It was on the Chippewa flowage. Like I said, I'm a novice and I am new to this, but I've really been into musky fishing. So that was a 42.5 incher. I got on the Chippewa flowage on a sucker. It was phenomenal. Perfect, should I say? Is that better?
Perfect.
That was great. And I also caught another smaller one. I think it was 36 inches, maybe even smaller. We didn't measure it, and that was up in Ashland, a little river off of Lake Superior area,
Oh,
which
okay.
was just
Way up there.
absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
And that was actually the first muskie I ever caught. Caught a ton of northern this year. Every other type of fishing was really good. Crappie phenomenal,
Yeah.
but I had a couple losses with muskies. I had a muskie take a crappie by mistake this year. Got it right up to the boat, lost it. Of course, 6-pound line.
It's fun.
Topwater explosion in July, missed hook set. So to finally really get that, I think it builds your confidence and it just gets you, those adrenaline rushes just get you more
It
hooked
does.
on the sport,
It
truthfully.
really, really does.
And it's a sport of trial and error. It's hard to be perfect every time and there's so much to learn. So I love it.
So, Greg, your season?
My season is non-existent.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't?
Your season is
Basically,
leaders.
since I got into this business thinking that this was somehow going to enhance my fishing experience,
Oh no.
it's done just exactly
Oh,
the
yeah.
opposite.
That's the one big
Yeah.
flaw.
So, no, I haven't done much fishing in the past couple of years, but I'm hoping that, like I was telling you, how we're going to change around our inventory and stuff like that, should start to open up my time because we're getting everything on the website, and as much time as it takes to put everything on there and show everything properly, I mean, you know what
I was
it's like.
checking the website,
It's
and like you
a
said,
lot.
the colors and the different styles
Right.
and the different baits. There's a
So
lot.
It's a lot to maintain.
I'm planning on by spring being done with all of that this year, and I've got my regular business too. So
Okay.
trying to run a couple of businesses at one
You
time.
don't have
and-
a lot of free time.
yeah,
I understand that.
but that's going to change.
So, Maureen, your big thing was, and same kind of with me. I grew up on fishing and then I stopped,
Yeah.
and then I got brought back. I have my own story of why, and then what's your big thing of like, I want to go back. I want to,
Well, I have 3 little boys at home. Kind of once I had my kids, it was just time got away from me, and it was
Time to be a mom.
exactly. And I would try and take them fishing, and to fish with little kids as much as I wanted to focus on that, it's very hard work. And they were too little at the time. So basically, I reached a point where I was just burning the candle at both ends, and it kind of lost myself. And I was about 3 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to get back. I love musky fishing. I'm going to get back into it, and that's going to be my focus. So I went to the Chicago Expo and really started to build up my gear and everything like that. Subscribed to the magazine's Focus, joined Muskies Inc., everything like that, and started hanging out with my dad again. We'd go through all the old tackle and really getting a game plan, and we would bicker like crazy, but he was very old school. But it was great, and I loved it more than ever, and it became a weekend thing. I'd be up at my cabin every weekend fishing. When I couldn't do that, I would fish in Illinois, shoreline, whatever I could do.
Whatever.
And it became my passion again, and more so than ever.
So you got a little bit more free time.
I made free time.
You made free time.
I made time.
I want to fish in that.
This is, I'm not the type of girl who's going to go out and do shopping and stuff like this. So it was my time that I said it was my self-care. Instead of sitting around the house watching TV, I could make time to get out, even if it was 2 hours, and go fish.
Did we say it was her birthday today yet?
Yes.
It's
yes.
her birthday
Not yet.
today.
All right, so guys, come down. Wish her a happy birthday.
Wish me a happy birthday,
Yes.
yeah. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for
welcome.
that.
So, was fishing always in your family with your father and probably your grandfather and so on
My
and so
dad,
forth?
yes, my dad grew up in Chicago, and he would go to Canada. He would fish a little strip mine area in Illinois, Braidwood, shore fishing. Whatever he could do, he would be fishing. We started going back up to the Hayward area. He went there with my mother right after we got married in the 60s, and then we wound up going to resort in the 90s. So, I had grown up on the ice with my dad, fishing, everything, and then we really started going to northern Wisconsin. So, I'm one of 3 kids, and pretty much my father and I, they fished, my brother and sister, but it was really my dad who focused on it. And he learned from his grandfather, and he taught me. So I hope to do the same with my kids.
Well, soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. So, Greg, I want to get back into how you pieced your collection of lures, because it's such an eclectic.
Okay, well, a lot of it, again, is
From the East Coast.
right. But it's also, too, I understand what a quality lure is. I've just from dealing with the guys that I've dealt with over the last 20 years or so. I started using Hughes River lures when they first started coming out for fishing
When
myself.
did they kind of first...
Boy, it's got to be over 20 years ago by now.
Okay.
So,
80s.
probably the late 90s.
90s?
Yeah. That's probably right about then. And so I kind of got the idea what a good bait was. Because that's a really high quality, first rate glide bait. And again, the one thing I come to find out is where all the bones were buried with these guys in West Virginia and that. But in doing so, you learn also where the miscellaneous lures are at, because what happens is these lures get out into the mainstream and they don't get used. A lot of people are collecting them. So in a number of cases, I've bought out collections. If I see something where it's a real high quality lure and the guy's got a collection of them that he's getting rid of for whatever reason, I grab them. This American hardwood lure, which is an outstanding topwater bait.
Quite a few of them.
They're one of the best topwater baits that have ever been made. And all of these and we've been selling them for a couple of years now. All of these American hardwood lures came from 2 private collections.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So all the ones you see here from... So they had a collection.
Yeah.
Right.
Quite.
2 private collections is what I bought these out of.
Huh. So are most of these out from the East Coast?
Now, this guy here, he's actually in North Aurora, Illinois, which is just the next town over from where I live, but he doesn't sell to wholesale. Or he doesn't sell wholesale. He sells directly to the public.
Okay.
So if you want something made up for him, his name is Phil Drury, Name of his business is American Hardwood Lures, and basically he makes every lure to order. So all you got to do is jump on his website, contact him, and he'll build any color lure that or any size or any type that he's currently making. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Great guy too.
And then, how did you go to West Virginia? Did you go there for lures, or were you there for business? And
No,
then you
I
were
just
still into
drove.
fishing and-
Like I said, I drove out there at the invitation of one of the lure builders to the Musky's Inc. Banquet meeting, and they displayed all of their lures there. I met Bill Crane there, and his wife, and that's where I met Jack Cobb, and there's a number of other builders over in that area too, and actually Fred Pearson, Pearson Plugs. I mean, most of the guys, with the exception of Bill Crane, were all proteges of like Jack Cobb. If there's a lure up here, Jack Cobb made it before. So that's kind of, and then again, like I said, I was dealing with Jack Cobb for the last couple of years of his life, which was really enjoyable. I mean, he was a crazy guy, but he was so much fun to talk to.
Oh,
So
I bet. The stories he had,
it's
probably.
unbelievable.
Interesting.
And it's amazing too because I don't know, probably not a lot of the guys follow the lures like I do, but there was a situation where there were people coming over from Europe probably about 15 years ago because the pike industry is huge.
Yeah.
Well, what
So
happened
big
is there's another area where Jack Cobb was sending all kinds of baits over to Europe.
Oh, really?
So now, if you go on to like European websites,
Wow.
you'll see lures over there.
Cobb lures?
Well, that are based on what Cobb was doing.
Okay.
For
So
trophy pipe.
yeah, I mean, it's not hard to tell. I mean, you see a
Inspiration.
right,
Those lures.
exactly,
That's
exactly. Oh man, I'm never going to get rid of that.
Because I
Exactly.
see. I'm
Thanks a lot.
I see some of these names of some of these lures, and I'm like, those are collectibles.
Yep,
But they look brand new,
they are brand new,
which is
but they might be 15 years old.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty good pricing too for.
Yeah, they're collectible. But do you
Yeah.
want people? What's your goal? Is it like I want you to fish with these lures, guys, because they're awesome lures, or it's like you know what, do whatever you want with them. Just appreciate
It's your
the
money,
lures.
yeah.
Exactly.
And it's pretty much the way it goes too, because they're not buying these lures, just because
Showcase.
somebody else didn't have it in their booth. They're buying it because it's
They know
something
what
they
it
want to
is.
fish
Right.
Okay.
I mean, especially Pearson baits.
Yeah.
Trophy hunters do. I mean, when I get those in, I make a couple of phone calls to a couple of my customers, tell them I have them in,
And they're all gone.
and they said, "Well, send me the pictures," and I send them the pictures, and then they're all gone.
So how long have you been roughly like intrigued with the musky world of fishing? Like when did you start? Like,
Well, I started going up the Rhinelander in 1959.
So you've been around
I've been
in the
around
musky scene for a while.
in more than one way.
So did that?
Yeah, I mean, when
Did you take a break, or was it always there for you, the musky world?
no, I mean there was a couple of breaks in fishing. After we stopped going up there for a while, then I didn't get back into it until my early 20s, and did some fishing up in Canada and stuff like that, and around, and even in the Southwest, did a lot of fishing. And then about 25, 30 years ago, we started going up to the Chippewa flowage every year, and fishing up there, and more lately we tried to fish different lakes all the time, trying to find something maybe where they don't get pounded as hard. And that's kind of, as I get closer and closer to my retirement, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to be looking to do as far as musky fishing
Head
goes.
back up north.
Head back up north and then find the places that don't get bombed.
Less pressure.
There's so many Class A lakes, and especially small Class A pothole lakes in the area above Rhinelander and that, Eagle River up in that area, even further north than that don't get a lot of pressure. Even those areas do get a lot of pressure. There are a lot of lakes that nobody even messes with, and that's what I'd like to do, is just you know,
when the time comes,
yeah,
we're not going to see you anymore.
right.
So, tell me more, because I'm always intrigued to hear stories of back in the day. You know, so what was it like back then, going up to those areas back in the 60s?
Well, the muskies were about 8 feet long.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Perfect. Exactly.
It was fun. I mean, it was family fun.
Are you in the Freshwater Hall of Fame then? For those 8-foot muskies?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 1959. I mean, those were small ones too. Yeah, I mean that's just kind of what's spirited.
What was the scene like up there for muskies? And
It was different because nobody put muskies back in those days.
no, they kept them.
And it was funny because the resort that we stayed at, you caught a muskie, the resort would prepare it for you for dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I don't recall because I was just a kid at the time how they did it. I would assume that it would be some kind of pike boil or something like that because I can't imagine the fish being any good any other way.
No.
I mean that's how my uncle used to go out every day. And he would take my baseball bat with
That's what I
him.
was going to say. You had to club them to
Yeah.
get them in the boat,
Because
right?
back in those days, when you got him up by the boat, you took a club to him, or you took a baseball bat to him.
I read a muskie book, the history. They used to use a small gun, too.
Yeah, the 22s,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Be careful to
like,
shoot a hole in the boat. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's that alligator show? Or crocodile, alligator, swamp people?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it was like that back in the day.
But so that's what spurred my original interest in it. And it's hard to find down south a lot of muskie compatriots, although it had grown there for a while. And
In Illinois? Is that
yeah.
what you- okay.
Yeah.
And and I had a buddy that he was here working yesterday that me and him have fished together a lot over the last 30 years at various places. So we just enjoy being out, just out fishing, as much as anything. So,
Yeah.
and when you hook into one, it's great.
Absolutely.
And actually, the biggest fish I caught was at the lake where we stayed at resort as a kid too.
Aw, that's
Back-
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, caught that.
Makes it more special.
I don't know. Must have been in the mid '90s or something like that.
How big was she?
46 3/4, about 30 pounds.
Awesome.
Beautiful fish, clear. I mean, it was pretty. And it was funny too because it was the last day we were there, and with
That's
an
how it
hour
always
after
happens,
with
yeah.
an hour
Last
after
day.
catching the fish, we were on the road on our way home too. After being up there for a
That
week.
ain't bad.
Yeah.
Makes
me
it a
lot
more
worse.
exciting ride home.
Yeah.
At
Oh my
least.
God,
yeah.
yes.
You got your PB heading home.
So you guys have any trips planned up for this year? Like, Maureen, like, you're on the scene now.
Yes.
You went, gung-ho into it. What's your plan for the next season?
I want to fish as many new waters as I can.
Okay.
Of course, I'll focus like the Hayward area where I've always fished. But yeah, I want to. My goals are I'd like to do Minnesota. There's a lot of lakes I want to fish in Minnesota. I want to,
Midwest.
yeah. I want to get a Leech Lake strain muskie, so I'd like to do Green Bay, try that out. Just to kind of network and learn, fish with as many people as I can, because everybody has a different style. I want to do that so I can learn a lot. I think that's really it. Like to try as many smaller lakes too and rivers as I can.
Those are fun.
Yeah, exactly. I
that.
love river fishing.
River
So,
fishing is great.
River fishing's unique. I like to be secluded. I like to be in the unpressured waters. Chippewa flowage was great, but to me, there's so much traffic if you're going peak season.
Yeah.
I'm used to fishing a lake that's like a 10-mile-an-hour lake and quiet lake, so I kind of like that. But yeah, I do want to try some of the bigger waters too, like Green Bay, like I said, just where those giant fish are. My goal for the season, it's a lofty goal, but I would love to try and get a 50 if
Get a
I can.
50?
Yeah, I've been lifting weights for that,
Well,
so
I mean,
hopefully, we'll see. Get on some of those bigger waters where the fish are.
Where the
hopefully.
50s lurk.
Exactly. Where you have a chance.
so with you, I know you pro staff for a couple other companies and everything like that.
Which is
And
new, yeah.
You have a blog.
Yes.
What are you trying to find a niche, or what's your?
Kind of a jack of all trades, I like to think. No,
Are you just
yes.
in it and be like, I want to do everything? Because
That is kind of my nature. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. He'll tell you I move like, God, a mile a minute. I love writing. I would love to try and write some articles for Muskie's Inc.
Which you will do.
I will. Yeah, I plan on doing that. I like to keep up my personal blog, which I kind of just keep personal related to my experiences with outdoor. I did get involved with Tooth Tamer and Lake X, which I'm very excited about, so I can hopefully learn a lot there. There's a lot of great people in both of those companies who said that they would love to take me under their wing and help me to learn and get some bigger fish, so I'm really excited about that.
She might even learn something in here too.
Of course. I've learned quite a bit. He's very knowledgeable. I learned a ton yesterday. I'm very impressed. Perfect, huh? Perfect. Yeah. But my goals are for this season too. I want to try and volunteer. I've been talking to some people in my area outside of Wausau. Want to help some children with disabilities. Worked with Wounded Vets in Action, Wounded Warriors in Action. So you kind of, yeah.
Yeah, we've been very involved with that.
Yeah,
over
so
the past
these
few
are
years.
goals. My dad was actually an amputee and had a very hard time getting out fishing. So that is a very near and
Personal
dear.
touch.
Exactly.
Okay.
If he wouldn't have been able to fish if I didn't help him. So I really want to do stuff like that, help people with disabilities, and I'll find my niche, but it's as long as it's centered on fishing and helping
I'll
people.
do it all then.
Exactly.
Okay.
And not only is she can do it all, in a couple of months we're going on tour.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that. The Great Northern Tour.
She's going to be selling leaders
Yep.
for us because
Yep.
at the way we're making the leaders and everything, we are going to be able to sell wholesale. So we're going to be hitting a bunch of shops in northern Wisconsin.
Yep.
And lovely Margie here will be taking care of all the business once we get them set up for the various shops in the area. And we just going to continue to grow it from there.
Okay.
We've already got the inventory set up for the season, and so we're ready to go. And
For the show season or for like the shop?
Season, yeah.
for the summer season,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So all we got to do now is just go out there and beat the bushes. We're going to start off with Mike. Mike's going to give us some leads and stuff like that, and
Yep.
Okay.
we're going to work the western side of the state one day and the eastern side the next. And if we have to hit some more, we will. And
It's a great way to network and learn too.
When's this going to happen?
sometime in April.
So not quite fishing season.
Not quite fishing. We want to get there before
Yep.
People are out. So
I'd go during fishing season so that I can fish the
we'll
whole.
Right.
we'll do that too.
I mean, that's what I
Hopefully
would do.
there's some open water to hit on the
There'll
way,
still be open water.
Well, Maureen promised to take me fishing several times this
Right.
year.
I'm
so.
going to. I'm going to use a very special leader.
One second. I just don't know if this fan
Is it
messing with the
acting?
mic.
Gotcha.
I hope. I don't think it is.
Morning, guys.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good.
Show's not open, is it?
Shouldn't
yet.
be till
Okay.
10.
So, Greg, favorite lure? What do you catch your personal best on? Well,
The 6-inch Huey, which is a Hughes
Yeah.
River lure.
so
Yeah.
you don't just sell them, you fish them too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's. And then as far as I fished with that for a lot of years, and then once we started getting into the Pearson bait, the Trophy Hunter and the Wide Glide.
Now, which one's the trophy hunter?
Can you grab it?
Let me go grab that for you. I'll grab the Wide Glide too.
Let's show some of these off to the people because they can't see, but I can.
It's amazing, the colors and the selection.
Now, are these could be 15 years old?
No, these are all brand new.
Okay. It's the Hughes River that are.
Yeah, the Hughes River, and some of the cobs can be older too. That's a Trophy Hunter right there.
Okay.
And it's a real easy glide bait to use. We showed, Pearson. We showed you the leader that we make especially for these two, and tremendous belly roll on the drop bellies, and a great glide.
And that's roughly what, 9?
This is 10 inches.
10 inches?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a big glide.
Yeah.
And this is a 10-inch wide glide. This is real similar to the Huey. This is also, the round nose is also something that Jack Cobb came up with. So again,
Cobb-inspired?
Fred was a protege of Jack's.
Okay.
He helped a lot of guys helped Jack build lures over the years, and that's how they got their start. This particular bait will glide up to 3 to 4 feet. So, I mean, it's a bait where you have to be patient with, because the whole thing about using the glide bait is you want it to stop. You don't want to work the bait too fast and not get the total action of what the bait is doing for you. So it's a tremendous glide, and the more you put into it, the more glide you get out of it. It's truly incredible.
Okay.
And the Huey has always been one of the big glide baits, and again, it's very similar to the Huey and Jack's round nose.
Any other baits you like?
Again,
I don't believe that those are 15 years old. Some of those.
yeah, well, yeah, the Hughes River. I mean, again, it's the Huey, which, yeah, this is an enchanter, but this is not, and it's an 02, right? And it's a brand new bait.
That's
so
2000.
yeah. But again, the Huey is the bait I like the best in there. It's one I've caught the most fish on, and but again, it's something where he's old, he's disappearing. I mean, here's a 10-inch. I don't know what year this was made in, but I mean, these are almost impossible to find. I don't. Can you see that on there?
I'm sorry, I'm dazing into this awesome-looking bait. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can see the similarity between the two.
Okay.
All right. So, and now this one being basically a collectible, and because there are not very many of them made anymore, this is $175. Although we've got a show special 30% off on the Hughes River, this is $48.50, and for my money, I'm a Pearson fan.
Yeah.
And I think you're getting more product here from the standpoint of a usable product. But again, this, besides being a
has the
usable
name
product,
and
is
history.
also a collectible
Yeah.
too. So
And this is which model is this?
that's the Enchanter.
The Enchanter.
Yeah,
A glide bait.
another glide bait. Yeah.
02.
So yeah, we've got.
It looks like it just got off the
Oh, yeah.
rack. from
Oh yeah.
Musky.
Well, there's a lot of them. You know, the guys buy them and they just never use them.
Collecting.
That's crazy. So most of that inventory came from personal collections.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I'm trying to think if yeah, just really about all of them came from personal collections. So you can see where between those and even before I started dealing with Fred Pearson, I had bought out a lot of I think it was about 100 lures, and you know, it's kind of how I got to a certain degree got started with him. And he saw that I was selling the baits and contacted me, and we've been putting them up regularly now for the past year. So, and I'm getting a batch from him probably every couple of months.
Okay.
And like I was saying, I'm trying to get it to where we're getting more trophy hunters and more wide glides in, because those are the ones that
Everyone likes.
Yeah, and I can't keep them in stock once I get them.
Okay. So the Pearson plugs, they're going to be around for a while, but these Hugh Rivers,
This might be the last ride of the Hughes River for me.
whatever you see here is what you got.
Right.
And how many more are out there, you think, that are?
You know, I know
Are
of.
there still more?
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah.
col-
Oh yeah, yeah. I know of 3 guys that have collections of over 200 lures, and you know, so some days, at some point, those will work themselves back into the system, and but it's just a matter of timing, or when somebody needs the money, or unfortunately, if somebody passes on, you know, whatever reason, yeah. So, but yeah, I'll keep my eyes open, because when I see a good deal on lures that are high quality like that, there's no reason to pass them up. I mean, and with doing these shows, I mean, it's so easy to bring them to the public. But again, getting back to my earlier inventory situation, as you can see, every color on the Hughes River thing is different.
It is.
I mean, it takes so much time to set up a ad. If you can't sell a color and a color and a color and a color, there's a lot of time
And I mean,
invested
how many
into
different
selling one
styles do you
lure.
have alone just on that wall?
There's probably at least a dozen different style Hughes the River baits,
And just a couple colors of each.
and
That's
maybe
a lot.
one of each in most
And
cases.
that's a lot of work.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But
It's impressive, all the colors and how many.
it is. Once I started to learn about Hughes River, and you know, backstories and everything, it's like, okay.
And especially the finishes and stuff on them. I mean, they're just I don't know
details.
if you could.
Yeah.
You probably can't really pick that up on the camera.
Oh, you can actually. Well, let's see if they can on Facebook.
But I mean, it's really incredible the finishes
Yeah.
and stuff that are on these baits. I mean, the guys are really
What's the
talented.
earliest one you have here?
I think an '01 is the earliest one.
earliest?
Yeah, and I want to say he's actually started making them right around 89, 88, 89. So,
Okay.
and his
And this one right here is an 02.
Right.
So this is, I mean,
did I say 88 or 89? I meant
Yeah.
98 or 99.
98.
okay, yeah,
99.
Yeah.
98, 99. So you
so-
have some early ones.
Right,
It's pretty
right.
early on, yeah.
Very early in the career.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just got to keep checking that audio because the fan in the background noise. They yell at me for my fan in my little room. They can hear that. So, Maureen, what are you big into collection of lures? Or was your dad a big collector?
My
of
dad,
lures?
I have some really, really old lures. So yeah, this is new to me, like collecting, and some of these I don't even throw. I inherited my dad's Musky box, and
Okay.
truthfully, my dad's like, you'll never have to buy another lure. I'm like, I wouldn't throw any of these
No.
because, like, I have a jitterbug, an original jitterbug from 1947 for Muskies,
No.
so I'm not
Why
going to
throw
be
that?
throwing that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have an original Suix, the rounded belly Suix. So I collect all those old. And what my plan is, I want to like display those. I have a room that's just dedicated to fishing,
Okay.
memorabilia and stuff like that. But I am getting into now where I'm trying to collect.
Now you're seeking out a little
Exactly,
bit. Like, okay,
exactly. So I mean, I have pretty much a collection that I throw, your go-tos, and then I
Yeah.
have ones that I just love to display.
What
Truthfully.
are some of those? Like, is
That I
that more
keep?
influenced by your father's taste? And you're like, well,
No, actually, believe it or not, my dad and I would butt heads constantly on
Yeah.
that. Like, my dad would tell me, you don't need this, you don't need this. My dad was the biggest person. Use a Meps, use a small Rapala, that's all you need.
Yeah.
So, no, not really.
so it's pretty much anti of what your father used to.
Correct. You know, honestly, I like some of the bigger crankbaits.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look awesome if you're going to display them with some of the custom paint jobs. I love that type of stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah,
And
that's...
like some of the older stuff, like some of the older Suix and Jitterbugs.
those
are you
I-
kind of seeking those out to
No,
like finish that, or is that just like
A
it was
little bit of
Dad's?
both, you know, yeah, because I mean, I have a lot of cool lures too that are not musky related, but I mean, I have Acme Tackle, a little Clio that you can't find anymore because it's got like a half naked woman on it. So I have like
Yeah.
a lot of really old cool lures that I want to put up from my dad's, and you know, I have his fly fishing hat, stuff like that. I want to get some old mounts and try and focus on that. And at the same time, I want to have cool new musky lures on my wall that are displayable.
Is there any ones that tickled your fancy when you?
There's a ton, and yeah, it'll probably take up too much time. Big Game has a lot of cool ones of the cranks that I like. I like a lot of Lake X stuff too, obviously. A lot here that I want to maybe spend some birthday money on that Red Dot sale on the 50% off, so I might have some collectibles there. Or the
there we
Hughes
go.
Rivers are so cool too, with the colors and the paint, so
They look.
it's amazing. The
They
finishing.
look new, and some
Yeah.
of the styles and patterns of. And tell me that they're still relevant.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Those patterns, because I mean the pattern world keeps changing. I mean there's some
Right.
standards and everything like that, but I mean the finish on it, and then the patterns, and then the style of the baits. Style's not so much. That's kind of
They're
that's some of the
relevant.
styles, but it looks like it came off last week.
Yeah, oh
They're
yeah.
still making today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
they're
you
all
hear
they're
some
all
too.
kept in good
Yeah.
condition. Yeah.
Very compressed.
It
Very
is.
compressed.
On the bigger ones, we try to keep the hooks off of them so that they don't even get. We've got the big ones hanging up right there,
How big are those?
14 inches.
What do those run?
I think they're $205.
Okay.
Is that what they are? Or is it 195? 195.
And what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Yeah. And here,
You got it in this way.
I don't know. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And but again, for Hughes River, we got 30% off, so
that
that's
a glide bait, or what is that?
$133.
That's a glide
Glide.
bait.
That's a glide bait. Yep.
Glide.
You said 15 inches?
14
14?
inches. Yeah. And that's another thing too. Now that you bring that up, is with the Pearson plugs. This is a 10-inch bait, but we're going to also have him make some 12-inch and some 14-inch. And not a lot, but a few.
Sure.
And again, the longer the bait, the bigger the glide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all about getting that pause out there on the long glide.
So I hear all the
Yeah, it's getting
show's about
louder
to
in
start.
here.
So let's finish with my favorite question. Funniest boat launch story. What do you got?
Funniest boat launch story. I've always been pretty good with that. Probably
Someone else you've seen. It doesn't have to be about you. It's something you've seen.
Probably the only thing is not putting the plug in one time
Oh,
and just having to
God.
pull the boat back out of the
Oh,
water
no.
and let
How
it
long did
drain.
it take the drain?
Yeah, not long. It
No?
just, most of the ramps that you pull in, there's a steep enough incline there. Once you pull it back out of the water drains out.
The one where I did that to it wasn't a steep incline.
Oh,
It took a while.
yeah.
Oh, no.
We did have one where we went in for lunch and we parked it on a steep sandbank going inside, and when we came out, the back of the boat was full of water because that's how steep the incline was
really?
of where we parked the boat. So that's about it. We had to kind of get in there and run the water out of the boat.
Yeah.
Because there was no other way to get the water out of the boat. We had to turn the pump on and go for a ride and
fast.
hope the boat
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
sink.
Yeah.
You know what?
What you got?
I pretty much, my boat's at the pier pretty much by my cabin. So, but it didn't involve me. But where my cabin is positioned, it's pretty much right adjacent to the boat launch.
So you get to see some-
I get to see a lot of interesting things, and it's a harder boat launch. So,
Do you drive the boat?
Huh? Oh yeah, I can.
You
Yeah.
drive the boat better than you drive your car?
Probably
Yeah.
a lot better. I'd like to think. Yeah. Hopefully, he's nice, really nice on my birthday, nonetheless.
So you see anything crazy?
I did.
funny?
There was a father and son, and now like an older father who was obviously hard of hearing. So the son is making his father. Oh, they're talking now. The son is making his father back the truck up while he's trying to get the boat off. So the father, who's got to be like 75, is hard of hearing. So he's like, "Stop, stop, stop! You're gonna bury it." And he's not hearing him, and he keeps pushing it back. So they literally buried the truck. He probably can't hear me. I should wait.
No.
I'll wait. This isn't for me, is it?
I don't know.
I think it's for you.
Oh my god. Great, this is live. Oh good!
okay.
I'm out of
Not for
it.
you.
Tina, she's got the same birthday as you.
Look at that.
Do you
It's
know
not
her?
me. Yeah, I mean,
I get,
met
if
her,
you
yeah.
don't, okay.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Okay, good.
So
I
did
feel
you run
much
the
better.
boat in the water?
Yep, and the truck got buried completely. So, no, the truck got buried and that, and the son was obviously not very happy with him. So, yeah. So that was interesting. And I'm literally sitting there, like, ducking behind the window trying
don't
to
wanna
watch
get
every.
saw- you don't get
Exactly,
seen, yeah.
exactly. So it was fun.
That's a bad one.
It was. Yeah, I felt bad, actually.
That's like, wow.
well, the
That's not-
son
I
was
forgot the
really
plug.
mad,
That's-
exactly.
Your
Because
truck's in there.
I was like, well, maybe they should have asked for help instead of relying on him to do that. But yeah, I felt bad.
Well, the show's about to
I
start,
have to say, actually.
Yes, sir.
and it's 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I think this is called the Waukesha Airport, the area that
This
we're...
yeah, it's by the Waukesha Airport.
Convention Center,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Waukesha Expo Center. I
Yep.
got it up on the screen right now, you guys. 1000 Northview Road, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Nice.
Come
and
on
we're
down
open
till
10 to
3
3,
p.m.
yep.
Yes, sir.
And we just opened. And then
Free
also,
leader.
Yes.
and get the free leader, first
Yeah,
200
first
people.
200.
And then also, 5 weeks from now is the Wausau show.
Yes, sir.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, first weekend in March. Make sure if you're in the
Can't wait.
area, you're there, because that's always a great show. Great bait builders, most of the guys that are here, plus
Yeah.
a few more.
Perfect.
So it'll be exciting. And I would just like to see if I can say a quick hi to my boys at home. Hi, Aiden. Hi, Brody. Hi, Jack, if you're watching. Miss you guys. Had to.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on, you guys.
Thank you.
And hope, today's pretty cool.
Yep. Thank you, Colin. Good
Excited.
job.
Thanks, Colin.
Yep, not a problem.